On air. With presenter Ali.
Hii ni On Air with presenter Ali, and of course niko na my G hapa.
Just Bravo aka Just Beast mwenyewe.
Yes. And of course it's another episode. This is actually episode 3 and we are talking about things that are happening in the country and all over the world. First things first. Morara Kebaso.
Yes.
I think huwezi have any conversation right now bila kutaja Morara Kebaso.
Sure.
Because of the things that have been happening, the things that he's been doing. And tunajua jana alishikwa juzi actually.
Yes.
And then akaachiliwa jana after amekuwa accused of ku defame David Langat, who actually came out later on and said that I did not
sue this guy.
I did not sue that. I did not do what? I did not sue this guy.
As we said yesterday, by the way,
Yes.
kuna vile tulisema jana that there's no
it
makes sense.
Yeah. So it's clear actually that there is someone who's behind this.
Sure.
And he was released on a cash bail of 50,000. And one remarkable thing that he did after release was his speech.
Sina wengine wakapatikana kwa mto. Ameua watoto wa watu. Mtoto wa miaka 8 amepigwa risasi. Ruto anauliza kama bado anaishi. Ruto ni mnyama si mnyama.
It was very powerful, by the way.
Very, very powerful speech. He talked about how the president might not reach 2027. He talked about how he might be removed in power 2027. He talked about the bad things that he has done. Akaongelea yule mtoto wa Rongai mwenye alikufa, and the president was on national news asking if the child is alive, right?
Yeah, after 8 bullets on the
So
the back.
Just watch the speech kidogo, and then you guys let us know what you think. So what do you guys think? What do you think?
What do you guys think about the story about Kebaso? First of all, by the way, we still condemn this issue.
Yes.
It was uncalled for.
Yes.
The same way we said yesterday. It was there's no need. And it's like calling police or Kenya like they don't have anything to do because there are criminals all over the place. There are very many corruption issues which have not been finalized to this moment. There's even this lady. There was this lady who was killed in Roysambu. You remember the lady who was killed and chopped into pieces?
Yes.
To date, you don't know who did that. And the person who did that has not been arrested. I even remember there's a day I saw the DCI posting that we've been rated the best investigative body in Africa, which was quite laughable considering what has been happening in this country.
Yes, I wish people outside Kenya knew
what's really happening. These guys, in fact, wamekuwa so good at abducting people. In fact, that's what they specialize at.
Yes.
The DCI don't investigate anything nowadays. They just abduct people who seem to be against the president. And I think nothing else they do, just that. So when it comes to now finding out the real criminals and investigating them and bring them to book, that's now where they draw the line. That's where they don't work anymore. That's where they wanajitia mnazo. So I think the issue about we all agree it was not right about Kebaso. And boy, I don't know if you guys saw, even before we go to the issue vile after he was released. Now when this guy was just going to court, you remember, did you see this guy vile alikuwa nakaa? The guy looked very traumatized, by the way. Until this moment, I wonder what this guy did to this guy. He looked so fearful and so traumatized.
I think the main thing that I saw is the image, Ama.
Oh, I saw, personally, I was watching the video as he was even walking from the police car into the court. And even the way he was talking in the court was so disturbed. The guy was so beaten. And then now at a close range, when now after they left the place, funnily enough, he was released. Then after being released, is kama polisi hawako wametosheka. They still also tear gassed them. And he looked so beaten. In fact, when those guys, his friends, went to pick him up from the court place, and the place was so chaotic and the tear gas was all over the place, were being shot, the guy was looking so stressed and disturbed. And so scared. And I've never seen Kebaso so scared.
But I think it's something that happens with everyone that has been abducted once. Even Osama, time aliachiliwa, it looked the same way. Even
Japrado.
Watu wengi ambao wanakuwa abducted, I really don't know what they do to them.
These guys.
And they never speak about it. That's
in fact, they speak about everything else, but whatever was
they
done to them.
They just say, guys, I'm just happy, I'm okay. I'm just happy I've been released. I really don't know what they do to them.
At least the guy that I can remember kind of gave us details of what happened to him was this guy, the Kenya School of Law chairman. He's the one who talked about how those guys put him in some room, poured water on him. Like, it was just torturous experience for him. And he tried to give details. In fact, he said that there are sometimes that he was being hit, especially on the joints and just to make, I think, mobility difficult for them. Because, you know, when you want to really hurt somebody, when you hurt somebody's movement, kind of you disempower them in a way.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know what these guys do to them, but it might be something that is very psychological, because they never come out the same. That whatever you said is a point, because this guy alikuwa anakaa. For a moment I was scared for him. I was like, huyu jamaa atarudi kuendelea kufanya zile vitu anafanyaga kweli. Then boom, a few minutes later he was on top of the vehicle. And
I think it's when he saw the people, you know, rallying around him. Wakenya walikuwa wamejitokeza pia in large numbers kwenda kumsupport. Sometimes you see such and you just
motivates you.
Yes. You're just like, maze hawa watu wote unimi wananitambua hivi. Siwezi waangusha.
Then the funny part was that part when the guys were now getting into their law courts. Then Watoto was baba yao was also apparently baba yao was also abducted.
Yes.
Also by the same state over the same issue. Of course, the different issues, but the same issue in a way, because he was also just criticizing the government.
Yes.
But now he did not have that following. But for a moment, there was a confusion in that court. He thought that the guys who came there to demonstrate were for him.
Yeah,
you could see, so he could see him like solidarity.
Yes.
You know, kuna mimi only to realize that kijana fulani amekuja hapa, because now when he came in first, then Kebaso came later.
Yes.
Now when Kebaso came in, the crowd were trying to surge in and get into the court, and it was so chaotic, and the movement was all over there. That's when he realized, like, these guys hawajakuja
kwangu juu yangu amekuja story.
Yeah, so in a way it shows whatever you were talking about the other day about vile vitu zina change really fast. Like the guys who used to be, the baba yao used to be that person mwenye ange, like he was a crowd mover. This guy was, he was one of the best mobilizers in Kenya, by the way. He could make youth come and do something. I'm telling you, if not even doing, not mobilizing people, if Watoto would just say something, it would be trending all over the place. Everyone would just be talking about it. If Watoto threatened someone, there's a time nakumbuka walikuwa wanapigana na Joho. So nakumbuka hiyo clip. In fact, they almost got physical.
Yeah, nijui wewe. Anamwambia kwani unafikiria mimi ni nani? You know, so that time when Watoto was a real baba yao. And I really don't know how they ripped the power of him.
Nowadays the guy is so powerless. Adi Kebaso now is the new kid in
the block. Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's just a show that you guys hata kama uko mahali, just jua too that there's always a space.
Yes.
Yeah, and nature kind of doesn't like vacuum. If somebody leaves, there will always be somebody who's going to fill. For instance, when Ruto bought, I don't know if he bought him, Raila, everybody thought that these Kenyans are now doomed. We don't have anybody to fight for us. Then came in Gen Zs, then later on Kebaso, and you see whatever is happening right now. So the story about Morara is just something to watch, and it's just something that we just can't help and wait to see how it's going to end well, because I just believe that wherever it ends, even if right now if it ends for Kebaso, he's already achieved more than what he could have if there were no all these things.
Yeah, and he's already achieved more than any opposition leader.
Sure, so fast.
Yeah, sure. He's achieved what Raila couldn't achieve it. I don't know in how long. So he's only 28, they say.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, achieved a lot. He's an inspiration to many young people. Many people are looking out to him. He's inspiring young leaders, and many people just, want to be the right leaders. And there's one thing he said. He said that Ruto akipata kura zaidi ya moja come 2027 atatuambia ameitoa wapi.
Jadi mwenyewe hawezi jipigia.
Sio moja ni yake. Zaidi ya moja.
Oh yeah. Oh, I get it. Sasa kumaanisha hata wife yake hawezi mpigia. Hata running mate. But by then there was a time when kulikuwa na a certain place where somebody running mate kumpigia kura. You remember? Was it? Yeah. Is it Mudavadi in 2023?
Yeah.
Mudavadi alisimamaga whatever.
President.
And I think there was a rumor that
hata bibi yake
station ya Kioni ndiye alikuwa running mate wake. That kwa station yenye Kioni alikuwa amevote, alipata 0 votes until people were like, "Adi running mate wako hakukupigia." But I think it wasn't possible. Ilikuwa tu stories za rigging, and the guys who were rigging did the rigging too much hadi wakasahau. Wakamnyang'anya, wakamwekea 0.
Wakamnyang'anya kila kitu. Okay. And let's also speak about Gachagua, because the motion was tabled yesterday PR, and
the impeachment
motion, and inakani kama sasa this time round kinaenda kumramba ile proper.
At the look of things right now, it looks like it's going to happen, because considering the number of MPs who even signed in support of it, they're almost reaching the number of MPs who are required to get him from power, you see, and to impeach him. And personally, I just can't. The only thing I can just, for a moment when I was looking at this story yesterday, I was just asking myself questions, because the things which have shown that these guys wame fall out permanently. In fact, they call it irredeemable divorce, meaning that they just can't get back together.
President na
Gachagua, especially according to the guys who are surrounding the president. That's what they're saying. That they've gotten to a point of no return. There's no way they can just work together anymore. It doesn't matter whatever is going to happen out of the impeachment. These guys just can't work together anymore. But they fail, of course, to tell us what really happened between these two. The same way Ruto appeared during Uhuru, they never told us what really transpired between them that made them hate each other so badly. But of course, Gachagua now on his side is saying that he doesn't accuse the president of anything. I don't know what he's going to say right now, because he said that he doesn't accuse the president of trying to impeach him. Number one, he said that it's maybe the MPs because the president has not called them to tell him if he has a problem with him. Because as far as he's concerned, everything is okay, and the president hasn't told him anything. In fact, he even said that the person who is really bringing issues between him and the president is the president's personal assistant, Farouk Bet. The infamous Farouk Bet. It's just this guy that people have been, I know you've heard of him, this guy that is so much feared by almost everybody, and people say that Ruto is bad, but Farouk Bet is worse. They say that they say, in fact, the guys who say that even if Farouk Bet says today that Ruto should divorce Rachel, he'll do that without thinking. They're saying that this guy is like kind of ni kama mbebea Ruto akili in a way, like whatever he says goes, you see. And almost everybody around president fear this guy. In fact, the people who we see closest to Ruto are like the likes of Sudi, right? But we're told that even Ruto fears this guy because Farouk, because there's even a time that he said that there's this time that just around
for real?
In fact, last 2 weeks there's a time that Sudi wasn't allowed to see the president for some time because I don't know what he did. He did something that angered Farouk. And Farouk said that you cannot see the president for now. You are banned. And he could not see him. That's how powerful this guy is. Like, in fact, he's so powerful to a level that I remember there was this time that they went for his homecoming at his place. And almost every CS was talking so good about him, that this guy is so good. Then Aden Dwele came forward and said that, you know why everybody's speaking so good about this guy? It's because if they try to talk so bad about this guy, they'll not be allowed to see the president anymore. See?
Because he's the PA.
He's the PA, and he's he's not just a PA, he's a very powerful PA. Like, he's a PA that...
He's been given a few some powers.
Some powers. Like, he's so powerful that people believe that... Like, for instance, Raila has a PA. But it's known that if Ida doesn't want you to see Raila, you'll not see him. The PA can allow you, but if Ida says you can't see Raila, you'll not see him. But the other way now is funny about Ruto, in that even Rachel can allow you to see Ruto, but if Kibet doesn't allow you to, you'll not see him. See. So Gachagua just said that according to him, he ana shida na Ruto. Ruto has not done anything wrong to him. But the problem is this guy called Farouk Kibet. In fact, he said that Farouk Kibet even goes around paying MPs, keeping them in the chopper, and the president's chopper, flying them around and telling them that tomorrow I want you to vote against Gachagua. He's a bad person. He even said that Kibet used to come to him and try to manage for him his diary, telling him where to go to, where not to go to. And that's why he said that I cannot do that anymore. You see?
What?
Yeah. And even the other day, so this guy had very many claims. He even said that just 2 days ago, 2 days before the impeachment motion, he said that there's this MP who is believed to be Oscar Sudi, that went to his office. I mean, went to his place to see him, but because they agreed on meeting at 12, this guy arrived at 11 and got to the gate. Then the gate man told him that I've not been told that there's anybody supposed to come at this moment. So you'll have to wait for, according to the schedule, you're supposed to come here at 11.
What? At 12?
Yeah, at 12.
No, umekuja mapema.
Yeah, so at that time,
Hey.
Gachagua says that he said, according to his schedule, at 11 to 12, he was supposed to be having a haircut. So he went to have a haircut at that time when this MP came, the Sudi, now the person that is believed to be Sudi. So when he was having his haircut, he was called by the security, telling him that there's this guy who is just insulting people all over the place and he wants to come in by force, and he's saying that sisi ndo tulikuweka hapo, huyu jamaa kwani anafikiria yeye ni nani, hata tutamtoa kwa hii nyumba tuweke mwingine hapa. Huyu ni mjinga mpumbavu. He said that guy called him that. That since the security, because he was still having an haircut, the security could not allow him in, the guy decided to drive away, insulting everybody around. And he said that the guy at night texted him and called him pumbavu, mjinga, sijui nini. Like he said that the guy insulted him so badly. So it was like, according to him, he had no issue and the president has not told him anything. But the problem is the guys who are surrounding the president. But if you flash back a week later,
Interesting.
There's this time here, Gachagua had an interview with Sam Gituku.
Yes.
And this is what he told Sam Gituku, that as far as I'm concerned right now, there's no motion. This is just a rumor. There's no motion of impeachment against me.
Yes.
And if there is, I believe that the president doesn't support it because he hasn't told me so. But what I know, that if any motion of impeachment reaches the parliament, it means the president is the one sponsoring it. In fact, he said that there's nobody who has the power, no MP who has the ability to gather and even campaign and even mobilize enough members of parliament to support a motion of impeachment. And the only person who has such resources and the powers is the president. So if you try to look at these two stories as a contradiction, in a way it shows you that is it now true that now, since we have seen that the motion has been tabled in parliament with an overwhelming majority supporting it, does it mean that now whatever Gachagua said now is not true when he said that it's the people around the president who are against him, but not the president? But now if seeing the motion already in parliament, it means, according to what he said, that actually it's not even the people around the president,
it's the
president. In fact, there's this African quote that says that when the dog barks around, just know that the owner is around. You see? So it's just, so is it a conclusion that the owner is the one who sent the dog and the MPs just happen to be the dog?
Yes.
And the person really backing in this case is not these MPs, but the owner of the dog who sent the person.
Because I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense because up to now, has the president said anything?
No, he hasn't denied it. He hasn't said that he supports it.
Why? Because I do believe that if he was against it, he would have first spoken about it and said, I have faith in Gachagua. I've seen his job and everything. We've been in the government together, and you guys are not supposed. This guy is not supposed to be impeached. There is no way he can just be silent about it and let us think that he's just not part of it.
Especially considering the level of robotic nature of our parliament right now.
Yes. Because
I can't call them anything but robots. Because right now we have that parliament. If you ask me, since I've existed in this country, this is the worst parliament I've seen in my life. These are guys who don't even have brains to start with to even make a decision, even to pass one motion, unless the president calls them to the State House, and then tells them, so and so utasema hivi, so and so utasema hivi. Then tomorrow they come. You remember, like during the this whatever finance bill,
yeah.
You remember all of them came forward and they really supported the finance bill when the president supported it. Then when the president came forward now to say that there was a problem with the finance bill and I'm withdrawing it, they're also there clapping. That's why I noticed that these guys don't even have brains. Because wait, if somebody, mimi ukiniita hata kama ni president, uniambie ndio support his stuff. Tomorrow uniambie umechange mind, I will not come behind you and clap for you because kwani unanibebakana, and we are all adults.
Yes.
We seem to, like I come now, we're standing there kama kids, but I was like, the fact that somebody is an MP doesn't mean that they're really smart and they're better. Maybe wametushinda the fact that they have those offices. Majority of them are so dumb and stupid compared to us.
Yes. And one MP once said that the parliament building has just been left as a building. No decisions are made there, apart from decisions that come from the president.
True, very true.
No motions are passed, apart from motions that are coming from the president.
Correct.
Nothing is happening unless it's happening through the president's orders. That is one MP who did an interview a while back with, if I'm not wrong, Radio Maish or something. If I see the clip, I'm gonna put it on the screen. If you don't, well and good. But what does this tell you about this actually says a lot about the leadership that we have in the country, because it looks like everything is being controlled by one man. Everything is being micromanaged by the president, which brings us back still to the fact that why Kenyans want change, because you elect a member of parliament to go and to go and represent you, and at the end of the day you realize that he cannot actually represent you because he's being controlled by someone who pays them money. I remember during finance bill they were being paid 2 million each.
Sure. 2 million each, man.
2 million each, yeah. And
to support the bill.
Wow.
Wanasema pesa ilikuwa inaletwa kwa gunia. The money just brought in a gunia.
So,
they were being
whose
called.
side are you on right now? Are you on Gachagua's side? Do you think he should not be impeached?
Honestly, if you asked me, if there was any, like, first, I don't believe it's a priority.
Yeah.
You see, considering what's happening right now, it's not a priority. My first option would be, if I was to choose, would be the president and the entire government to just go home. Personally, I would like to, if I was God, because I think he's the only person who can do all this. The whole executive to go home. That is the president, the deputy president, the PS, and the CSS, the ambassadors, all of them to be called back home. All the police structure to be looked at, and their leadership be checked, and their integrity to be checked.
Okay.
The judiciary too, from the Chief Justice. Personally, I don't believe that lady Martha Koome is qualified even to do that. In fact, there's a rumor that alikuwa forge some of her certificates when she was applying for the job, and she just got the job because she was a friend to the then president.
Wow.
And these are things that needs to be looked into. You understand? So personally, I will just get rid of the parliament, all these three arms: the parliament, the executive, and the judiciary. Then we start all afresh with the new president, a new deputy president, new MPs, and somebody will be like, "This is crazy," but that is what we need. In fact, Kenya right now, we don't need painkillers. We need open heart surgery. We need to get deep down where the problem is.
The root causes.
Yeah, the structure of governance. Why people don't even respect the constitution. Maybe because we feel that the police is powerless. Which is true. The police that we have is the only power they have is the one that they've given by the president.
Yes.
Not knowing how independent, they don't even know how independent they are. They don't even know how powerful they are. The police don't even know that the president doesn't have power even in controlling how they function. Like they have ability to do anything, even going against the president. There's no constitution in our ambient. You have to follow what the president said. Like they're that independent. The same with the judges. That's why you see sometimes these judges are quite intimidated because sometimes that the people are at least trying. In fact, if you ask me to rate the three arms of government, I will rate a judiciary at number 1. Of course, they have a very terrible leader who is the Chief Justice, but at least I'll give them number 1 because at least there's some elements who are doing something. You understand? Yes. Then number 2, I'll give it to now the executive, because apart from, and this is difficult coming from me by there because I hate this government for real with all of my heart, but I'll give them number 2 because the parliament is just that bad. Ushaonaga msee unakuwa na second last kwa class yenu, not because ulijaribu, but because number last kufanya mtihani. You get like that's how like you see, that's the comparison I can give them. I'll like we have a very crazy system, and our system is so much messed up, honestly. Because otherwise, is bro, tell me, ukiumizwa na mtu ama uko in danger ama kuna kitu na kuhurt, do you trust even the government ama the police eti watakusaidia?
No. I've seen a case of another lady who was actually raped just the other day. I saw it on Instagram, and she had evidence. She even alikuwa na kila kitu. She had the medical test. She went to the DCI. Alienda sijui police station, Juja police station, na hakusaidika.
You can imagine.
I hear nasikia huyo the rapist paid, I don't know, 5,000,
And yet she's a taxpayer, bro. She pays ama polisi wako hapo kwa station wanalipwa na pesa yenye huyu msichana analipa. It's so crazy.
It's like a year down the line and nothing has been done. So those things like just shows you just be on the right side of the law, and also pray that you do not find yourself in just a fix, because
don't ever find yourself in a situation where you need the government.
Yes.
Yeah, don't. That's because they're very unreliable.
Yeah. Let's go to the next story ambayo ni Iran. So Iran has just fired missiles on Israel. That is yesterday night.
Yeah.
And it went crazy because no one was really expecting it, including Israel. It fired, I think, 180 of them on Israel's soil, and it is said that schools were hit, base camps were hit, that is military camps were hit, and hospitals were hit. But it's not something that was really expected. At first, no one claimed responsibility, but later on, the Iranian government did. It is the second time they're doing it. The first time, I was successful because I think Israel were ready or something, and they intercepted almost all of them. Do you think, before I get to what you think, I want to ask, do you think this is World War III loading?
I think so, bro. I think it is. We are not so far from
World War III.
World War III.
Yeah.
Doesn't somebody may think that we're trying to ring some false alarm. But what I'm saying that is the same thing by there during these pandemics when they happen. Remember when COVID happened, like it looked like it's not really until it hit us. When people are saying that this thing is coming, anybody who wasn't affected were like, this thing is not coming. This is just news. The media is just trying to make us panic, which in a way is a very, very valid statement, because most of the time the media always overreact to many things. They always exaggerate almost everything.
Yes.
But then sometimes
yeah,
sure. But sometimes it's good to try to give it some of this news attention, because sometimes it could really affect you. Right now it's easier to talk about it when it's so far, thousands and thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
But considering what has happened, if you look at the structure of this war, how it has been shaping up, you can't help but think that this can just get worse. Because first, we know, number one, that Israel doesn't get attacked and didn't fight back.
Yes.
Like anytime you fight Israel, you should just be ready to. It's like whatever Michuki said, that anytime you play with a snake's tail, you should be ready to be rattled by it.
Yes.
So anytime you're playing with Israel, it's like it's not a matter of if, but when you are going to get attacked. So when you look at it right now, it's clear that why this looks like something that is going to metamorphose to a World War III, if not checked really, really fast, is number one, if things continue remaining the same, because I believe the US election is going to be the game changer for this war. It can either allow this to continue or to stop, depending on who is going to be elected.
Yes.
Somebody might argue against that because there are people who are in the different teams and they have their own whatever. But personally, I'm not from US, so I don't care who wins. But as far as the death that is happening in Israel and Iran, and right now and also in Lebanon, we just have to
Gaza.
help. Gaza, for instance. Also the one that is happening also in Ukraine and Russia. This whatever is happening right now is going to be affected so much by the US election results, because of the allies that have been formed right now. Because as we look at the World War, how it started, the second and the third one, it was not
the first and the second.
And the second one, it was an allied thing. Like the moment countries start fighting and the other one fights not because it wants to, but because it's protecting or fighting for the ally, that's how war begins and spreads. So for instance, it just gradually started with Israel attacking Gaza. Then in a way, US did not condemn it. Then we came to realize that US in a way was supporting it.
Yes.
Then now they started also they threatened to invade Lebanon.
Yes.
And by the way, what people also should know that the same day yesterday when there was this attack, there was also another attack, same in Israel, but now by the gunmen who came and shot around 8 people. And according to the defense force, the Israelites, they say that the guys are not even Israelites. So there's a possibility that there's a connection between the guys who came and killed guys on that gunfire and the attack that was done by was it by Iran?
Yes.
And it was in response, and also this is in response to whatever Israel did the other day, because remember the 2 days ago, Israel decided to invade Lebanon.
Yes.
Because there's that belief in the Israeli government that Lebanon is supposed to be part of Israel. And I remember there was this time that the UN really warned Israel not to try to invade Lebanon, but they went ahead and did it anyway. And I think this one also is what triggered now the guys who are seen as the allies to Gaza, the allies to Lebanon, now who are now Iran, who are now to fight back. And it can only get ugly now because, for instance, now Israel are with the US, right?
Yes.
I just believe that now the likes of Russia, the likes of Korea are just going to go to side with the guys from Iran and Lebanon.
Yes.
And that's going to, and the Middle East too will have no choice but to side with their fellow Arabs. They're going to side with the Lebanon.
Even China,
Even China, because China they have that pact with the Russian government, which is also against the US. So they can only go on the side that is against the US, which is clearly the Iran side.
Yes.
So if it builds and that formation works and people start fighting, then it's going to be a world war because it's going to start to involve Africa.
And even what is more scary is the fact that the Israeli Prime Minister said that whatever Iran did, they have to know that there are consequences for that.
And remember that's what also they said the time when Hamas attacked them for the first time.
Yes.
He said the exact thing.
Yes.
They should know that wherever they did, there must be consequences. And the consequences we are still seeing until this moment. They're still on Gaza because of that one single attack. So this is not something that is going to look nice. And this is just something that, because we people from Africa, we don't have so much power. We can only advise the guys from...
We don't know who to side with.
We don't know who to side with. By the way, people out there can think that Africans, we care so much about the war that is happening there. We really don't. What we want is, we care about the fact that there shouldn't be war.
Yeah,
we just want peace.
We care about Congo.
Yeah, we care about Congo.
We care about South Sudan.
South Sudan and Somalia here. Yeah.
Because, and I mean, I'm just saying this because even if you look at what is happening in Congo and what is happening in South Sudan, do you think the people of Gaza, the people of Iran care about that?
They don't.
They care about what is happening in the ground.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, so it is the same way. Even if whatever is happening in Iran,
it could be affecting us, especially financially.
It has,
but not directly.
Yeah, it's actually affecting us. But then look at it this way: if Africans were going through what Israel, Iran, and Gaza and Lebanon are going through, do you think those guys would honestly think, care?
Nah,
they would care less.
They will care less. They'll. Of course, some of them will make noise, but it will just be noise. But they won't care so much. They won't really care so much.
The other day I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he was telling me, why is it that we are seeing many people just go ahead on Instagram and post, pray for Gaza, what is happening in Gaza is not right. But you see very few of us also write, pray for South Sudan.
In Congo.
Pray for Congo. And we were talking about this like a month or a few weeks before Mandamano. And he told me, if something starts happening in your country, is when you realize you really don't have anyone. Because, for example, when people are being killed in Kenya by snipers, when children were dying, when Rongai was on fire, when Githurai was on fire, who was there to help us?
Nobody. In fact, we could just see our president meeting with the same guys who were supposed to fight for us. Yeah.
Even international media, they're just condoning. The worst they could do, the biggest thing they could do is just condone.
With the strongest terms possible.
Yes,
that's what they always say. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you realize that as a country, you're just alone. So as Africa, we really want there to be peace, because world war is going to affect all of us.
All of us, yeah. When it gets down to world war, it has to now to concern us.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, do you think we failed Congo in a way as Africans? Because why I'm saying this is, there's a reason why we don't really care about whatever is happening in Gaza so much, like people in Africa, right? We don't really, to be honest, we don't really care so much. The same way, we don't really care so much about whatever happening between Ukraine and Russia. In fact, we care because we believe, because it affects us economically, especially the one in Russia.
And also it's been amplified by the media.
Exactly. So we care about whatever it affects us with, but we don't really care about what's happening there. And when I say we, I don't really believe, I'm not trying to say that everybody, because there are people who really do care, like us, we are talking about this. But I'm talking about the majority don't even know whatever is happening out there.
Yes.
But at least something we know, there's a difference between whatever is happening in Congo and whatever is happening in Iran and in Gaza. And that is, it's so much well known, it's so much amplified outside there. Everybody's talking about it. Even if the people who don't know so much, if the people who are not concerned about it, at least they know it's happening.
Yes.
There are many people, even if you go right now to the upcountry, I believe that out of 10 people, you'll at least find some people who know about the war in Gaza. But out of those 10 people, it's very unlikely for you to even find one person who knows that there's very serious war, genocide that is taking place in Congo right now.
Yes.
And in Southern Sudan.
Yes.
And that for a moment, it hit me, and when we were just about to start having this conversation, I just couldn't help but ask myself, does it mean that we failed Congo? Because the guys in Gaza, their story is known because the guys over there are really talking about it, especially their media, the CNN and the Al Jazeeras of the world. They're really pushing this story out there. But bro, when last did you ever see Citizen TV? So is it the media or is it the people? When last did you ever see Citizen TV talking about whatever is happening in Congo? And I'm not talking Citizen TV specifically. When I talk about Citizen TV, like I talk about all of these mainstream media houses. And not even only the mainstream, even the social media, because we have guys, the news guy, those guys, they have their own news platforms. But why aren't they talking about Congo? Because I believe that if we talk about this enough, there will be help. If not from outside, at least from within Africa.
Yes.
See, I believe there will be some help that will get there. But why is it? Don't you feel that, or don't you think that we've failed our fellow Africans when it comes to when things happen to us? Because even when people are dying in Kenya during the demonstrations, of course the whole world stood with us. Yes. But specifically from Africa, we did not see people from Africa really pushing this issue. I remember when people like from Uganda, Tanzania, and Nigeria, instead of talking even about the people who are being killed, they were busy comparing themselves with us, telling their young people that, why don't you be like Kenya? Why don't you do why don't you demonstrate like them? You guys are just busy posting nudes and all that. But I was like, these guys were never talking about what Ruto was doing to the young people who are being killed on the streets. They never talked about that. And is it the problem we have as Africans, or am I the one who's just overthinking and being a victim victim mentality? It is just the problem of,
I'll give you a good example of when Githurai was hit, no one talked about it. See,
but Kenyans did. Some Kenyans did. Especially on Twitter.
Yes. Okay, my point is,
or when you say no one, you mean
by saying no one, it just mean like you at home, you are just feeling sorry for them.
Yeah,
like
sure.
it has happened for them because you're not from Githurai. When it happened in Rongai, you were just sorry for them because there's a video Larry put yesterday, and he said when Kenyans when youth were dying, no one spoke because they are not youth. When journalists were dying, no one spoke because they are not journalists. When your time will come, no one will speak.
They'll speak for you
because there won't be anyone to speak. So, in other words, I think it just hits so hard when it's home. Like you can only know the pain that you're going through because you're a Kenyan. So Ugandans will just get the news, and they'll just hear 2 people have died, someone was killed, and then they'll get the big news that Kenyans have penetrated the parliament. That's all.
So you're comfortable before it affects
the same way. The same way. I'm just going to tell you. The same way. We do not have exact details which schools were hit, which hospitals were hit, and we cannot feel the exact pain that Israel is feeling right now.
But at least my point is, I'm not even for the people feeling about it. Okay, making it known outside there won't hurt. Okay, it's okay, it doesn't affect you. Personally, I talked about Githurai so much. I pushed so much about it. If you check my ex, I really pushed for it. You see? But I don't come from Githurai. I don't even know if I have a relative around there. But I just feel like can't we just look at things from a point of we're all human beings, and if something affects somebody else, it doesn't necessarily have to affect me. But the same thing you're saying that whatever Larry Madowo posted about when they came for the media houses, people, and then nobody spoke for them, and now many people kept quiet, and now when it was your time, nobody was there to speak for you because now nobody talked because there was nobody to speak for you. That is very valid. But now my point is getting it known, and I feel like getting it known out there and being affected by it don't need to be the same.
Yes.
Like it cannot. I'm not trying to say that hey, Africans nataka msikie uchungu juu wa Kenya waliuliwa. Like that's not what I'm asking for, because that's up to you and your conscience and whatever you feel. But considering that statement you just made, how don't you feel like these guys, okay, in Africa, the issues that are affecting Africa are not talked about enough. Like right now, okay, fine, we are talking about Gaza, tuko hapa. But who is talking about, when last did you ever see DRC Congo trending anywhere?
I get your point.
Wait, my
it's
point.
So sad, but
yeah, things happen in Africa.
It is very valid.
Somalia, it's been like has been ungovernable for the longest time.
Yeah, but no one talks about it.
Nobody's talking about it. In fact, when Israel is about to attack, not even attacks, just warning to attack,
it's news.
It's news all over. We even knew about these guys, Russia planning to attack Ukraine even before it happened. And this guy were pushing for it. In fact, it was an egg on the face of the president of the US because they knew about it even before it happened, but they allowed it too. But in Africa, DRC, Congo, bro, South Sudan, all this stuff is happening. As we speak right now, bro, there's a child that died in DRC, Congo. Yes. Nobody's talking about it. But tomorrow you'll see, even before the end of the day, you are going to see the pictures and the videos of the children who have been killed in Israel today. I can bet my bottom dollar on that. And for me, unless it's because we don't have the big, somebody can argue maybe we don't have the big media houses like these guys have. I don't know.
But they have correspondents all over the world.
Exactly. No, I'm not talking for them. Them not talking about us is okay. I'm talking about us Africans speaking for us. Yes. Our media houses speaking for us. Our issues getting known outside there. I just feel it is less happening. And I don't know whether the problem is the people, ama the media, or as I was saying, or is it because there is no that major media house in Africa that you can say that is watched throughout the world compared to these guys. They have Al Jazeera's, they have the CNN and the BBC. I don't know. But I think that's just something we need to think about as Africans, man.
True.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know what to say that about it, but I do know that anything that happens in Africa will just stay in Africa because we are either shy to speak about it, we are either shy to not be seen that we are desperate, or we are struggling, and also the fact that most media or most international media, they turn a blind eye to what is happening in Africa, and it is what it is, and that's just how things are. But let's get to an exciting story. Yeah, P. Diddy.
How is that exciting, bro?
It's exciting because he's in jail.
Oh, okay.
It's exciting because no, I'm not sifurahi kwa sababu ako ndani. It's just a developing story that we keep on getting new stuff every time. And I mean, it's just been realized that 120 people have actually he's been accused of sexually assaulting 120 people.
Yeah, those are people who are ready to come forward. And
yes, 65 being women, and I think around 18 somewhere there being underage.
Okay.
We have one who said that she was defiled when she was 9 years.
Wow. So things are just getting hotter for this guy.
The seat is just getting hotter. I remember he was denied
the cash bail.
Yeah. And there's something you said about cash bail, like for you to be denied a cash bail, it just means that You are a threat out there.
Sure. You're not. The charges against you are just so crazy.
They're just so crazy.
Yeah, you're such a dangerous person.
Yes. So, what do you think about this story? Do you think there's a possibility of there are people coming out and saying that Jay-Z is framing Diddy to replace him?
Who?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is framing
Diddy.
to replace him in
Being
the main mastermind of all this.
Yeah, being the big man in the entertainment industry. He wants to take over from Diddy, and
also that people believe that Jay-Z is behind all this.
yes,
That is a very stupid argument. Whoever thinks that way, because this is just the same thing about that issue we are talking about. When the likes of Muhammad Ali were now capitalizing on the fact that Ahmed Abdel Nasser was accused of sodomizing that guy.
yeah,
It's like accusing somebody of taking advantage of a situation that you are in and accusing them that they're the ones who are caused it. Because, for instance, bro, it's okay. Let's say that it's Jay-Z who is behind this guy being arrested, right? He's the one who pushed for him being arrested. But is he also the person who is responsible for the things he used to do? Let's say the Alcomekwa protected, he was protected, right? But right now he's being arrested about issues which chances are he did. So are you still going to blame Jay-Z for doing that?
oh yeah,
Understand?
I get it, yeah.
Because let's say if we are together right now and you did something, then you go and accuse me and charge me so that I get charged. The fact that I did that thing doesn't matter, even if it's you who betrayed me and set me up. Understand? The fact that I did it cannot be disqualified. So I think that is just kicks of a dying horse. Anybody who tries, the fans, because they usually have those fanatics who just want to support somebody, even when somebody is on the wrong. This person is just on the right, and it's a witch hunt. I truly believe that there's no witch hunt when this issue, Diddy issue, is on.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe that this was something that was inevitable. He was going to get arrested anyway. It was just a matter of when, because the people who are protecting him got to a place where the information that was outside there was just too much that you just can't protect this person anymore. Understand?
Yeah. And in other news, he's also refusing to eat while in prison.
Yeah, there was such a claim at a certain time that he was trying to commit suicide by starving himself to death.
Okay.
And he said that like they're having a very close watch on him to make sure that's happening. But that was also disputed by the brother, who said later, the lawyer, who said that Diddy has been eating so well, Diddy is taking good care of himself, Diddy is in a very good spirit. In fact, he said that Diddy is it was his brother who said that Diddy is in a very perfect state. He's in perfect mood, in fact. He said Diddy is very happy wherever he is at, he's very comfortable, and he's not somebody who is planning to kill himself.
Okay.
And there was now, but then that point you just brought up just reminded me of something. There's also this theory that has been going around, that there's a possibility these guys want to kill Diddy.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to eat.
Because
He might be poisoned.
No, not really. Like, there's a possibility these guys want to kill Diddy.
Why?
So I'll come to that. So they're bringing up allegations that there's somebody who wants to commit suicide, so that when they do that, it will be said that he committed suicide. Because until this moment, a good example is this guy called Geoffrey Enston. Remember Geoffrey, this guy who was killing people, was a guy who was killing guys and sleeping with them, then killing them and cutting them into pieces.
Yes.
And even the neighbor used to report the issue. Yes. And it turned out later on, Geoffrey was very rich, the same way Diddy is. It turns out that Geoffrey was a very good friend to many powerful people. And then finally, when everything was working out right for Geoffrey, Geoffrey died in prison. And it was said that he committed suicide, which was not well investigated. And today, there are still very many questions on the issue about how he committed suicide, because it's believed that there's a place, because until today, as we speak, the list of the guys who are in that, who used to visit Geoffrey, has not come out to date.
Yes.
And it's believed that there are very many powerful people over there.
Yes.
That if he released the list, could have been mentioned in the process.
Yes.
The same right now, why would they? You asked me why they will be planning to kill Diddy. It's because, number one, Diddy said the other day that he wants to make a statement through his lawyer. He said that he wants to make some confessions. And in these confessions, it's believed that he's going to name some people, including the
Very
people,
powerful.
very powerful people. Because right now it's even where Diddy got all this money is questionable. How he was protected and got away with all these things is questionable. Number 3, there were people who were planning all these parties. Because these
They were
parties...
just being planned in his house. It's not like he was...
No, not just in his house. There were parties which were being taken in very many places. They used to travel sometimes to Miami, like there were parties all over. They used to have parties all over the place.
Yes.
And there are people who are responsible for transporting people. There are people who are responsible for security. There are people who are used to kidnap these people who were kidnapped and taken to these places. So there's no way it was going to be just Diddy. And McHugh, in this case, there's only one person who has been arrested. It's only Diddy. Even the guys who used to cook for the abductees, they have not been wherever. They have not come forward until this moment. None of them has been arrested. Yes. So even the guys who used to protect, even the guys, you remember that time when he beat up Cassie on that hotel corridors, and it was covered up by the guys, the hotel management. There's nobody who has even been arrested in connection to that. So it just tells you that this guy, all these things he did, he could not do alone, because you cannot hold a party where you have hundreds and hundreds of people, and you want to tell me that all the logistics. You're somebody who holds parties. You know how much it's hectic to hold a party. to hold a party.
Hey, I'm somebody who holds parties. Hey.
You see, yeah, there are many. In fact, the guys who used to go there, because there are many people who have confessed to go there. Yeah. Who have said that those parties were massive. There's no way this person could have managed and organized all these parties alone. There must have been...
There were billionaires involved.
Billionaires behind it.
In dollars, I mean.
Yes. Yeah. And also something that we need also to know here, that the guys who believe that bora ulipatikana kwa Diddy, because the people in the public that believe that bora ulionekana kupatia Diddy, walikuwa wamefanya hizi vitu. But the reality kwa ground is, there was a party, and there was always an after party, which was called, they used to call it an after dark party. You see, so all these people you see, the like of Trump, the likes of Obama,
they've been there.
They've been to the parties.
Wow.
You see, but it's not known if they have been to the after parties, because
which one was worse?
The after parties were the bad ones. The parties were not bad. The parties was just to lure people to come. After the parties that you could see, that were the peaks where you could see the likes of Kamala Harris coming and partying and doing all that and drinking and dancing. That wasn't the main. That was the main party. But after that, now there were the after parties where the likes of, where the real thing used to happen, where the likes of Asha and Meek Mill used to enjoy. So it's something that we need to put clear, that there's a possibility that these guys that used to go to the party, some of them didn't even know, because the guys who have come forward and have confessed that I used to go to the parties, I was in the parties, but I don't know what used to happen there, because there used to be that select few used to be selected for a special party that used to happen afterwards. Of course, there are people who used to find themselves without parties, without consent, like the guys who used to be drugged. Unajipata kwa hizo party, maybe you're invited for it, and if you don't accept, get given some drugs that could get you there. And on this story about Diddy, by the bro, there's another developing story about her ex-wife that had a story that discovered whatever was happening. You remember that story? Yeah, there's also an accusation that, of course, Diddy has been accused of killing many people, including Tupac. But now the most recent one was about his ex-wife. Yes. It's called who? It's called Kim Potter. That's her name. Yeah, she's called Kim Potter. They were divorced. They had kids together, right? Yes. And they were divorced around 2013, I think. And when they were divorced, they were divorced, it's claimed that her friends now say that she was about okay. Let me not get ahead of myself. When they divorced, there were these claims. Kim Potter had already discovered whatever was happening to the things that were happening to the things that had discovered suspicious activities that her husband was taking part in. Yes. That is, bringing young parties and doing things. Yes. And after discovering this kind of led to their split. Yes. And divorce. Yes. And she had even gotten in contact with the tapes, some of the tapes. Yeah. And she wrote even a book about it. So when she was just about to release the book, where she was going to give her words and confessions about what she had discovered, she suddenly died of pneumonia in her 40s. Yes. She was 47. And the medical
report.
If you talk, the medical report did not show that. Then number two, the doctors who, in fact, the medical practitioners say that it's not normal for somebody to die of pneumonia in her 40s. Most people die of pneumonia usually in their 80s and above. You understand? So those coincidences just go to a place where. So right now, as we speak, the book is just about to be released.
Wow.
Understand?
It's not yet been released.
It's not yet, because she just died just a few weeks before releasing the book. But the guys, the publishers and the guys who are in contact, who are handling the book, now are about to release the book. And this book also just has some secrets that we're just about to find out.
Another thing that maybe I think we could add is the fact that there are people who are probably famous, who are probably celebrities, who are probably billionaires, whose tapes are there at Didi's house. And if they are released, maybe it could affect their fame, it could affect their families, it could affect their businesses. And probably those are the people who want Didi dead.
Sure, and that's why they will come up with the issue about him wanting to kill himself.
Huyu mama alikuwa akifanya betting. Hii ndege ya kuwa kwa simu imepotea na pesa zake karibu shilingi 60,000. Ndiposa akanyamaza na mambo kama hayo yakamfikisha mahali ambapo amefika.
Alafu hiyo pesa ndio tunashangaa. Hii pesa kweli ni ya haki ama ni ya mashetani? Hatuwezi jua hii pesa iko na nini ndani yake. Kwa sababu watu ukisha pata pesa unakufa kifo ya ghafla, unakinyonga. Unapata msutuko.
Kakamega woman takes her own life after losing 60,000 Kenya shillings in Aviator betting platform.
Alega 6,000 akashuka tu kaimeenda.
Hakuna kitu mbaya kama unaweka 50, unaweka 10 bob, unaona kameenda mpaka 10, unasema hapo ningekuwa nimeweka 1,000 ningekuwa na 10k
sahi.
Unasema wacha tuone next.
Inakuja
unaweka so sure kanaenda, unarudi tena unaweka 10 kanaenda mpaka 35, unasema ningekuwa nimeweka 1,000
wacha niweke,
ningekuwa na 35k.
Ama hadi saa zingine unaanza kuhesabu hii ilitoka 5 kwa ikafail 2. Also after every 2 inakuja ile kubwa.
Unangoja unaweka 10k.
True. 0.
Kwanza kunaga moja ile inaumaga kama 1.01.
Inaingia ime
hiyo inakunywaga kila mtu.
Mbona sema hakuna jina wako unachezaga hiyo stuff?
No, see, I've watched the game.
Oh, okay.
Like you can
cheza the virtual one. Yeah.
The virtual one.
I play they usually have the demo. So it's like
there's a demo.
Yeah, they usually have a demo. When you go to their site, they have a demo first. So you can open a demo account.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like Forex now.
They give you about 5,000 Kenya shillings.
For demo.
Yeah, for the demo.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went for the demo and I tried and I was like, the first day I was not making any money. I was just seeing it. Sometimes it goes as far as 6,000. Then it will just come back all the way to 3,000. But finally, it will always, the whole of it will be gone.
Even the demo.
Pia
demo
wananyorosha. Nikasema tu kama ni demo mnanyorosha hivi na doje. Because I expect kwa demo they need to be watakuwa lenient kidogo ili so that they kuentice uingie. But the demo was so brutal, nikasema kama ni demo iko hivi. Hii ni kurambwa.
I think I'm not a fan of betting. I'm not a fan of
gambling because you also are a Muslim and you don't believe in that.
But I cannot lie and say that I've never done it. Like I've never gambled my whole life. I have, and I didn't like the results.
Even life itself is a gamble.
Yeah, even life is a gamble. Yes. So I didn't like the results. We've had many stories other than this story of this lady who just took her own life, which is actually very sad actually.
So mtu anafikaje mpaka inafika like 60,000? Ile stuff haikuwa na maximum the amount you can put there?
There is only minimum.
Oh, there's only minimum.
I think maximum is like 1 million or something.
So yeye alieka 260 ama labda hata alieka 30 mara mbili.
And I think many people do not talk about this, but gambling addiction is bad. Gambling addiction is as bad as alcohol addiction, is as bad
if not worse.
Yes. Because I've seen someone struggling with gambling addiction and it doesn't end well. They gamble with everything, like literally everything that they have. We've heard stories of people gambling with their wives.
Yeah.
People gambling with their property. There's another story I read.
The people who gamble with their wives.
Yes.
Wanapeana bibi.
Kwa kamare. Huko kwa kamare. Kwanza the worst gamble hata si hizi za kina Vieta. Hizi ni gambling zimeomoka. Kuna hizi gambling za kamare za 200, 3,000. Ayo watu wanasema tuwekelee nyumba. Ukiekelea nyumba mwenye anashindwa, hizo nyumba zinaenda. Zinakuwa auctioned. Tuwekelee baiskeli, tuwekelee magari. So in Bungoma once there's a guy who gambled with his wife na akaliwa na msee wa Nduthi.
Sasa jamaa na enjoy tu wife most. Hata labda shaza.
So gambling addiction is bad. And there's a story I also read somewhere of a guy who lost, I think, 100,000. Is it 200k or 100k? And he got into depression through a Vieta. But what I can tell anyone who's watching this is that the house always wins.
Always wins.
Today you might win 10k, tomorrow you might win 100k, the other day you might win 1 million, but the house always wins.
Always wins.
The way these systems are set up, they are set up not to make you rich, but to make the owner of the company
rich. It's a business.
Rich.
Yeah.
That's
business
the point.
is business.
It's a business. Yeah. No business was set up to make anyone rich. So if you're watching this and you gamble a lot or you bet a lot, just be cautious. Do it responsibly, or if not, do not do it at all.
And to add to that, the gambling issue is a very big problem.
Yes.
It's not a coincidence that the gambling companies are some of the fastest
flourishing.
In Africa. Like generally, look, there's no African country that you will not find a very flourishing, a very successful gambling company. And you look at most of these companies that from the west, most of them have branches in Africa here.
Yes.
Because they know here there's an untapped market.
Yes.
And right now it's tapped because we know almost everybody knows people
knows
who
Nege, Avieta.
Yeah.
Avieta is very popular.
And when it came, it was like when gambling just got popular over here.
Yes.
It was mainly something known by people who are jobless, the young people, especially guys, boys.
Yeah, campus students.
But right now, everybody's gambling. Hadi mama, you see now there's a woman, a mama.
Yeah, there's a lady.
Yeah, the old men are gambling in the offices.
Yes.
Yeah, ukiwa kwa mat like in the matatu.
Yeah,
next to you unashtukia kama mama mzee is gambling.
Unaona mtu tu ndege inampiga.
Yeah, and then people think it's not a problem. I think people think that it's just, in fact, there are people who see it as a means of investment. And the day that they lose, it's like a loss in a normal business.
Wow.
You see, forgetting that these guys, in fact, they know that the guys that start these companies, they don't allow people to win. They just need enough people to win.
Yes.
Just enough people to win to allow you guys to continue playing.
Yes.
For instance, they play with this so much. When one person wins, they publicize it so much.
They pay the media.
Yeah.
They pay bloggers
and
make sure they say that someone has won 10 million. Shillings.
Because they know how much it will.
But let me ask you, for you to win, for example, there's one very popular platform that I won't mention its name. Every time I would go to the platform to just see how many people, because it normally shows you how many people are playing. The games are set up in such a way that after every win, it gives you like, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds, then another win.
Okay.
It's set up like after 15 seconds, ndege inapanda. Ikianguka inapewa tena like 10 seconds. Ikianguka. So that, and every time I used to see like 15,000 people online playing that time. And the least amount of money mtu anawekelea ni 10 bob. So that tells you that the company is in every 10 seconds, if all of them lose at once, that company has made 150,000 in 10 seconds.
Wow. And in that process, they just around 10 people win something?
Yes. Around 10 people, around 15 people. And if they win, it's not like a lot of money.
No, it's never a lot of money. It's like 10,000, 15,000 there.
So you're realizing that out of like, and to make a minimum ya hao wote wameweka
10 shillings.
Na kuna watu wanaweka 1,000 bob,
10,000,
10,000, 20,000. So in other words, unapata in a minute they could make even millions in just a minute. But you umeweka thao yako una hope to make 10k, which you might not, just for the house to win 10 million. So gambling addiction is quite a problem that we have as the youth. Sana. We have friends who are addicted to gambling.
And they don't even know that. In fact, the people who don't even know it's an addiction.
Yeah, I have someone that I know. He's been quite popular here in Kenya. And he was just saying, my friend was just telling me, anytime he gets like 20,000, he knows like directly he's going to bet with 10,000.
He doesn't see a problem with that.
No.
No, that's a problem.
He knows that one day he'll just win.
Or he just knows one day he'll win.
Yes.
And that's what. And by the way, have you asked yourself how people come to be addicted to something that is most of times is not rewarding at all?
Yeah, it's because once you see, when you win a bet, for example, there's the dopamine spike in your system. And every time, let's say you bet today and miraculously you bet 1,000 bob, you win 30,000. Every time you'll be looking for that feeling that you
the happy
got
hormone, yeah,
when you got a 30,000. So the depression part does not hit as hard as the dopamine. So your body is just yearning for that dopamine. You don't care if you eat, you don't care if you pay your rent, you don't care. You're just looking for that dopamine spike. And you might not get it for the rest of your life. Some people are lucky they get it. But now, it's even worse if you get it again. Because you'll always want it again, and again. So, it's better if you bet once, twice, you get it, and then you're like, you bet again and you're realizing that I'm not getting anything. So, you just walk out.
And then the failures are not usually that extreme. You know, I hear all the time.
Yeah.
When you meet somebody who just lost a bet and they're celebrating, bro, imagine a game moja to like,
yes,
they forget the fact that, so it makes them feel like the dream is far but yet reachable.
Yes,
like
yes.
it's giving
I
them
would have won this one.
Yeah, just one game. So like the next one, I know if I just become more careful, just that one game.
That's the thing.
Yeah, then
That's
they're like, and then also there's this excitement. There's always this, you know, subconscious mind doesn't know how to differentiate between what is true and what is false. And there's always that false precautioned narrative that you have in your mind just after you place the bet. They play this they do this intentionally. They make sure you look at your bet slip. Then down there the bet slip, they see you see the possible amount of
possible
money.
Win.
Yes. And you know how your brain reads that? Your brain reads this not as a possible win, but as a reward for whatever you just did. So you're already celebrating subconsciously. You're already excited for the amount. In fact, usually the people who are so proud to show people their bet slip even before they win. Because just see, it's 100. It's like they feel like in a way
they've already won.
They've already won it. So you're already feeling good. You have the feeling good already before even you get it. And then when it comes, when you lose, most of the time you find that you lose with one game or two. So you're like, it's just step away. Then when you get online, you see somebody who just won 200 million Kenya shillings the other day. You're like, I'm the next one. Then now the problems becomes worse when you have people who have that mentality. The people I know that have the mentality that they believe that one day they're going to be rich, and they're going to be rich through
betting or gambling.
Yeah. Now that's now it becomes, because it now becomes it turns from being a hobby to now a purpose. Somebody believing that this is what's going to get me out of poverty.
Yeah.
And that is sad.
What I can just say is, personally, on my opinion, is that Aviator is the biggest scam. It's the biggest gambling or betting scam that we have right now. Just stay away from it as much as you can.
Avoid like a plug.
Avoid it like a plague. Avoid it like a plague. So if you are addicted, look for someone, talk to a friend, talk to someone. If you think that you can become a millionaire overnight through it,
forget about it, man.
Just forget about it. It happens, but it happens once in a lifetime.
Like a millionth of a person wins a jackpot, but the one out of millions of something.
And and some companies actually stage it.
Sure, they make you believe that somebody won.
You believe that someone won 30 million. They don't show you the dashboard. They don't show you anything. They just publicize it. They pay media. They pay influencers to just say this and this happened. So stay away from betting. Stay away from gambling. And that is why you haven't seen us advertise any gambling platforms
sure.
or betting platforms.
But it's immoral to do that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. And I don't know.
It takes so much away from the society than it gives.
And it's sad that almost all our influencers, Kenyan influencers, I love to bash them on this.
Kwanza Aviator.
Wanapenda ku advertise Aviator mbaya. Ma Kenyan influencers wamekuwa sponsored with these companies zenye zina
Aviator.
Mbaya sana kina whatever, we know them.
Yes.
And it's not right because somebody there's somebody somewhere is just gambling away their school fees right now as we speak. See, and their future will never be the same again. Yes. Because you are an influencer, ulikuja pale mbele na mic ukasema bet with us and you are going to change your life forever. Yes. Aviator connecting, I don't know, whatever they say to convince people to do that. You can say that because you're going to get paid at the end of the day, but you're ruining somebody's life somewhere. And some of these people don't even know, especially the people in the up country. They don't know that this is addictive. They don't know it's a problem. They don't know that the day they want to stop it, they'll not be able to.
But because they've seen Ali advertise Aviator.
And they trust Ali so much.
They just go ahead.
Yeah, they go ahead and do that.
Oh.
I'm waiting for them. I'm going to see you.
With Aviator?
Yeah. The jam.
I almost got a betting company, by the way. Uh-huh. I think 2-3 months ago. They were paying very well. Actually, they were paying like really, really well. But I had to hike my fee higher. Mali tunajua
hawatafika bei. Ili wasione uko na madharau.
Nilitisha tu pesa nyingi. They actually wanted me to be the face of the company.
Oh.
Yes, so nilitisha tu pesa nyingi because unajua ukitisha nyingi hawatafika hiyo bei na
wataacha tu.
But sometimes you just have to be respectful. You cannot tell them, mimi sifanyagi hizi vitu. I don't want to do with this. I don't want to ruin people's lives. So just told them, no, I'm not going to do it.
I think mimi naweza waambia. I don't know why I feel if I was in a place mimi naweza waambia. I just tell you, kwani mimi niko hapa kukubamba. Like I don't deal with you. I don't deal with gambling. I don't believe in gambling. Look for somebody else.
The dating scene in Kenya has actually changed, and I think there has been a trend. But tunaona many celebrities breaking up.
Left, right and center.
Left, right and center. Let's start with the most recent, ambayo ilikuwa ya Deep Pluto na Felicity. Tukienda nyuma ya Keranta na Flaco. Nani mwingine? Naona sasa wanasema ati Ambare ameachana na Rapudo.
Kuna Jackie
Matubia. Mulamwana
Size 8 DJ Mo.
Mulamwana anaitwa nani yo? Karosoni. Zilikuwa tu ziki happen.
In fact, the ones wenye wamebaki pamoja are less compared to the ones wameachana.
Bavaka na Miss Leila. What do you think is happening?
Trevor na Mungai.
Oh. Yeah.
What do I think?
What do you think is happening?
I think it's the reality. How watu wanaachana, and I think it starts with the reasons why people get into relationships. Mimi nafikiria most of these guys wenye wanaachana, they got into relationship because of superficial stuff. Because relationships usually look so easy when you're outside, and you think the requirement when you're from outside is just looks. Mtu anakaa vizuri na mnaweza ongea na mcheke. And when you guys have sex, mna enjoy. Like people think that, many people just think that's what is required. But now when you get inside, you just notice that there's so much required to make a relationship work. There's so much mental and spiritual and even physical ability needed to just make it work. Leave alone making it happy. Just making it exist. That the two of you mna exist pamoja harmoniously without fighting each other anyhow.
Yes.
And it's something funny because ukiangalia watu wa kitambo, for instance, the guys, when I say kitambo, I just mean the guys, other celebs who got married in the 2000s when we were kids and the early 2000s. Majority of them mnapataga wale stick to around together, the ones who we know about, the likes of Kina Nameless. You find that these guys just sustained the relationship for some weird reasons. And that somebody could argue that first, before even I think about it, do you think that it's about the celebs peke yake ama ni kitu tu inafanyika kila mahali? Because maybe tunaonea to the celebs. Is it because generally hadi kuachana, naona watu wanaachana sana bro.
I think
apart from other celeb,
I think it's a representation of what is happening in the society. Like watu tu wanaachana. Like people are realizing that it can't work.
It's not that green inside. From outside it looks so nice.
Yes. And I think it goes back to what you're saying, like looks, kuangalia mtu, let's say akona pesa. Hizo ni factors.
The guys even wanaendea mtu because mtu anajulikana. Kama hao celebs, you find that the people who got in relationship with them because of clout or fame.
Kuna mtu alikuwa anataka tu kuwa famous. Hadi ana date mse.
Hadi una date mtu hadi mnaoa.
Hadi mnapata watoto.
Alafu una realize. But I think sometimes people also don't know what they want most of the time. Unafikiria you want fame. Because human beings most time we don't question our wants, the things, because sometimes we want things that we don't really want.
We don't really need.
Yeah. No, we don't really not need because it's something we can't do without, but things we don't really want. There's this guy I listen to so much. He's called I don't know, Chris Williamson, one of the biggest podcasters in the world.
Yes.
He was talking about this, that many times we want things, but we don't take time to ask ourselves, are we wanting what we want, or we are wanting what we are asked, what we want? Are we wanting what we want to want, or we are wanting what the world wants us to want?
Okay.
For instance, since I'm not saying this is what's happening, but since you got married, now there's somebody else who's looking up to you who is also a content creator who feels, Ali ameoa,
hata mimi nafaa kuoa.
Pia mimi nafaa kuoa. And they have not even stopped and asked them, am I marrying because I want to get married? Or the society or the people around me make me feel that this is what I need to want. So it was like most of the time we want things, and if we don't question deep, you notice that many things you want, you don't really want them. They just think you need to want. For instance, the many ukiangaliaga many people CV wakiongelea hobbies. Majority of people talk about traveling,
swimming, reading books. Like in real sense, nani ufanya hizo vitu?
How do you know that una enjoy hizo vitu? Sometimes hata unapata mtu ataja ifanya hiyo kitu.
Yes. Unaandika tu jua kitu kuandika.
Traveling. What makes you think that una enjoy? Kama personally me, I don't enjoy traveling.
Same.
Me spendi ku travel.
I can only say that I enjoy driving.
But you don't enjoy traveling.
Yes.
But you'll see majority of people wakipata pesa zao, the first thing they think of, hey, we need to go to Diani. Personally, I don't value such. I don't, because it's not something that it doesn't tickle my fancy.
Ama mtu unasikia anasema, mimi napenda traveling ba na ajai travel. Ni kitu anatamani gitu because the society has made them know that think that traveling is
fun, it is cool. So it's not like hata anatamani, hata sisi anatamani because anatamani because society imemonyesha mtu akiwa na doa anafaa ende Diani. Because almost everybody in Nairobi akipataka pesa anataka Diani kuna nini. You see. So I think these guys, some of them pure get into relationship because they don't even, because personally I believe that there are people who are not meant to have relationships. There are people who don't have the mental ability to handle relationships. There are people who are just psycho. Kuna watu hawawezi kana mtu tu and be nice to the other person. Kuna people who are just psychopaths. They just want to have issues all the time. And I don't feel that people need even to have even kids.
Yes.
You see?
There are some people who are not even meant to have families.
Yeah, because atakuwa napatia people in their lives will just be having chaos. That it will just be chaotic. So unapata mtu kama huyo ana feel because we are supposed to have people wenye we are in relationships. Unapata hipi amerukia relationship alafu anaenda kutesa mtoto wenyewe because they believe society inataka wakuwe na mtu. But I don't believe. So I think one of the reasons is some of these guys wanaingia kwa relationship because wanaona ni kitu inafaa. It's a rite of passage. After umefika certain age unafaa kuwe na mtu. Some of them pia wanaingia kwa relationship because they need regular sex. You get? Wanataka tu mtu mwenye utakuwa unalimana naye anytime unataka. You get? For real. Because how will you explain some of these breakups? Unapata mse, they don't even come forward and tell you nini ilifanya tukaachana. And if you try to look at this, some of them are very petty stuff. Unasikia mse anakuambia it because in-laws wake sijui walikuwa wanani criticize tena moment once kwa nini unaishi na in-laws wake ama unaishi na umse. Yani looking for an excuse to justify a decision that is already made.
Yes.
So I believe too these guys kama kina Mungaiv and the likes when wameachana ovyo I don't think they're just a sample of who we are as a society. And
maybe also unmet expectations. Maybe you're dating Ali and you see him online and you think he's got it all, his life is well set up, but then you meet him and you realize he has his own chaos, he has his own imperfections, and you're like, I don't want to be with this person anymore. Because the problem is also the dating scene is very masked up. Like when I'm dating you, I want to show you how good I'll treat you, how I'll buy you flowers, how I'll take you out every weekend. But once you start living together, you won't be having all those
things.
Yeah.
And another thing also, and don't you also think that in a way people could be harsh with the guys who are the public figures, kama nyinyi, that mkikuwa in a relationship mnaachana sana? Don't you think that in a way, apart from people kuachana generally, is just a representation of what's happening? Don't you think in a way pia, because of the pressure, because already kama wewe already you are a role model to somebody, whether you like it. The sad thing about it is that whether you like it or not, you'll have to be a role model to some people. When watu wakianza tu kuona some degree of success in any area, whether it's financial or career wise or family wise, the people will just automatically look up to you, whether you like it or not. That if you mess up, you'll be disappointing them, whether you like it
or not.
And they never consulted you by there to start with it. We look up to you. Something that is very sad for the guys who are public, but there's a price you have to pay for being famous. And so I was like thinking, don't you think also that the fact that people look forward to these guys and having so much expectations, ukiingia kwa relationship, because when you're outside this, you're just looking at this as a very beautiful relationship where everybody will be admiring, people will just be telling you how you look good together online. Then you get close, you notice by there, people want us to be together. But number one, I'm a human being. But in a way, people expect you to be perfect because they are looking up to you. When I expect, because you're ugly, there's no possibility to cheat. Forgetting that, apart from the fact that the only thing that is special about you, Dunajulikana. After all, everything else about you, everything else they're fighting, some of the battles they're fighting, fight. And somebody just thinks, people think that since we are looking up to you, you don't need to fail, ufai kuanguka. So the pressure that gets there inakuwa more overwhelming. I don't feel too, the only way to, because you know that when pressure builds so much, the only way is always out. You see, just to come out eventually. And some people tend to, because of the mental pressure and all that expectation from society, unaona I can as well nitoke kwa hii relationship ili expectations zote kama hizi ziishe, because so much pressure and expectation from guys.
But in a way I could say it's a good thing. And I'm going to explain. Because you see, all the generations used to believe that when you have your husband, just know that they're not perfect. And if you have your woman, just know that they're not perfect. If they do this, just know they have to be your woman. You have to respect vitu mnafanya kwa nyumba, mkikosana watu hawafai kujua, and so on and so forth. But we are having a new generation of people who are meeting up, they're trying the dating scene, and they're realizing that it's not working out, and they're working out earlier in advance to avoid divorces, to avoid relationships where the husband anapiga bibi yake ama bibi yake ako depressed juu bwana yake anafanyaga hivi na hivi. I think it's also a good thing to see young people break up, because they are avoiding a bigger storm that could have built up kama wangeendelea kuvumiliana. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, of course, if it gets to a place where wherever it is the relationship you are in is going to lead to such, of course the best decision is to walk out. And whatever I'm saying, in a way, is an extension, is very connected to whatever I was saying. It's very true, because kama hii pressure yenye tunaongelea, like for instance, when human beings ukiwa na pressure, you always find the way out, and some of the ways out include kupiga the person uko naye, kutoa hiyo pressure. And if the pressure gets so much, and what can help you not to do that is getting out of it, I think it's wise. And I think there's always been that movement. People have always been pushing people that don't stay in their marriage if it's abusing, don't stay in a marriage if it's going to lead to death or something, if it's physically abusing. But I also believe that the part that people don't talk about so much, that is also causing this divorce, is that men also leave this divorce and the relationships because of abuse.
Men?
Yes. And this is one abuse that personally I believe is worse than the abuse that is talked about so much. And it is mental abuse.
Okay. For example?
Men generally, most of the time women leave the relationship because wamepigwa physically. It's very difficult kufanda mwanaume amemwacha mwanamke because alipigwa. Men wanapigwagwa. In fact, women beat men more than men beat women. Yeah,
Okay.
slapping, like in this relationship, women slap us all the time. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, women slap.
I've
How
never
many-
been slapped.
Yeah, we see that. Not you, but when I say us, I mean us as men.
I thought you said that.
No. I mean us as men.
Including you.
No. Us as men. I mean, you can slap. Yeah. Anyway, what we see in public, how do you in public? Women slap men more than men do that, and it's forgivable when a woman does that. Mwanamke unamkosea kidogo, pa, anapata text kwa simu yako, like listen, you see that? Anakugonga na simu, and it's not an issue. Lakini when a guy does that, it's an issue, which of course. I'm not just
the way the society has made it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Made it, yeah.
But there's one part that the society doesn't talk about so much when they push people to leave relationship because of abuse. Is that mental abuse part?
Yes.
In these relationships, women abuse men mentally vibaya sana. There are relationships where a man tries to do something, hata ana come up na idea. Let's say like kama issue yenye tunapiga sahi. Then you go share it with Medina, and the first thing she tells you is, vile unakoga uko nje sasa vile hizi zingine zimekushinda hii utaweza kweli. That's the first thing that comes from the woman. Or you're working at a job that is not well paying or paying good enough according to survival, because personally I believe that if you can afford food, shelter, that's enough.
Yes.
And clothing, which is not even a basic need. I believe that it's not si lazima uvae nguo.
It's not very basic.
It's not very basic. Kuna wase walikuwa nakaga uchi wa ancestors.
Hata Amazon.
Hata saa hizi kuna wase
wanakaa Amazon forest, kuna wase tu
wanakaa uchi. Yeah.
Wako high.
Yeah, na wako sawa.
Kwanza wako kwa forest.
Yes. But there's just this social media and there's
too much pressure.
Especially there's this group of women who give their men so much pressure. Anaenda anaona handbag kwa Instagram na ina cost 20,000 Kenya shillings. Na anajua una earn how much, because a woman
anajua una earn 240,000.
A woman knows your girlfriend
na rent yenu ni 20k.
20k.
Na ukishampa hiyo 40, anakuja the next day anakuambia hakuna chakula, nilibuy handbag.
And then mkifukuzwa kwa hiyo nyumba, the eyes are still on you, the man. Vile mta survive. Na mkipatikana nje mmefukuzwa na mlango pale nje kwa mlango, people will not ask your wife or your daughter. People will ask you, hey bro, me fail. You guys are on the street. You failed as a man. And that is so much pressure. It reminds me of the story ya yule jamaa. I don't know if you remember this guy yenye kuna time flani ali trend on X. It was this guy that the wife had been really giving him a lot of stress. Alikuwa na kazi, aka lose kazi for like about 3 months. So within these 3 months, the wife alikuwa take care of the bills.
Yeah, I remember the story. Yeah.
And the wife was hadi alikuwa analeta wanaume kwa nyumba. Like analala kwa sitting room, anaona bibi yake ametoka ulevi late, na anampita hapo kwa sitting room, anapita na
the same guy who recorded a video, but that's a different guy.
Yeah, he recorded a video, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeye pia alirecord video.
Alirecord video ya huyo mwanamke.
No, huyo ni tofauti. Mwenye record the guy when coming back late. Okay. No, achana. Huyu ni wajuzi. Huyu mwingine is like been some months.
I know the story.
Yeah. So this lady alifanya all these things very many times. Kama jamaa anaumia chini ya maji, and is just warning him because sometimes excuse me. Sometimes because somebody hajakuacha imanishi eti wako sawa na wewe. Sometimes somebody is just giving you time to change. You see. So this guy was, I think the fact that he was continuously ignoring these things, but at least alikuwa anamwambia, but alikuwa na stay put baada ya kuacha this lady. The lady aliendelea kumwonyesha madharau until to a moment the lady even told the kids never to call their dad but to start calling him by the name within 3 months of losing the job. You see. Mbia mwite John. Simite baba.
Jonte.
Mwite Jonte. This guy, so what really made this guy trend is after aliona hizi shida zimekuwa so much, the lady anamtorture mentally, anamtukana, anamwambia some that, because when you're with somebody in a marriage, kuna tu vitu zako chafu yenye wengine hawajui yenye yeye anajua. This lady could say these things mbele yake, mbele ya majirani, with sexual whatever shortcomings. Then this guy one of these days aliamua tu kutoka, akapack tu nguo zake kwa suitcase, akaenda kwao. He was from Morara. Then he texted on his way. The text was reading, paraphrased of course. I've been in that house for the longest. We've been together for 7 years. I've taken good care of you and our kids. But right now you saw it wise to torture me mentally and make me feel like a useless man. And right now as we speak, don't look for me. I've left. I've gone back to my mom's place with my suitcase. the same my mom's place that I left when I came to you, with the same clothes that I came with. So I'm allowing you to live your life the way you've wanted to. Let me also go back. I'm a man. I will pick up again. I will rise again. Let me go and stay with my mom, who can never run away from me, who can never make me feel as low and torture me as much as you've done.
Wow.
And this guy, when he went to the mom's place, he stayed there for about 3-4 days, then he committed suicide.
Oh my God.
You see?
That is so sad.
It was a very sad story. So these are the things that men also go through sometimes. This is the mental torture that I was talking about, the mental abuse. So people can talk about the physical abuse, which is so bad. Nobody deserves to beat somebody physically. The same way nobody deserves to beat somebody else mentally.
Wow. That is from Jasper. Bravo. And it's going to end today's show. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. This has been a crazy show. The lights are having something on my eyes and I just can't help it. So we just hope that nitazoea. Last time mlisema lighting iko kidogo. So sasa nataka tumeongeza tuone venye itakuwa. So thank you so much, guys, for watching the episode. Anything you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
so
good,
see you guys in the next episode. This has been
On Air with presenter Ali.